Hi everyone, and welcome to another Workshop Wednesday. My name is Emma. I'm a wellness coach here at Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. And we are on week 2 of the June Wellness Challenge. So we're continuing this big picture idea of building our inner CEO, which is owning our executive function, being able to make decisions, and understanding where we're coming from when it comes to our values, what gives us purpose in life, and how we can share this with others. And that is what leadership is all about. So this week, we're specifically building off of our foundation that we talked about last week on decision making. So how do we make decisions when we start to feel more stressed? Because it's easier said than done. When we're in that moment of safety, we feel like, oh yes, I can do anything that anyone throws at me. I'm feeling open and safe. And then suddenly our body starts to react. And let's say we're in a stressful meeting, a decision starts to feel like it needs to happen right away, which sometimes it does. But how can we make a decision that aligns with everything that we are trying to put out into the world? And that is where distress tolerance comes in. And distress tolerance is kind of similar to stress management, but it is in those moments where stress is a little bit more heightened. And so we learn these tools in moments of safety so that when those moments of stress come on, we can understand this is something I've flexed before, this is a practice I would like to take into this stressful moment. And as I always say, this is so much easier said than done, which is why we have to train the mind like we train our body. So today we're talking about distress tolerance. Distress tolerance is a concept that comes from DBT, or dialectical behavior therapy, and there are many tools to help us in moments of distress. One of these is called TIP. So if we're in a heightened moment and we feel like we need to make a decision right away, there are things that can help us kind of open up this window of tolerance. We've explored this with ourselves, but sometimes stress, it's too much. And so we need to remove ourselves from the situation for a moment to regroup, feel our body back into that regulated state, or understand this is where I am right now and accept this is how the body is feeling. So when we have these moments of distress, it is completely normal. It is our body coming from survival, and it's also something that there are extra tools for other than these videos. So if you need more support, seek the support you need. For distress tolerance, one of the examples that they give in DBT is TIP. So this is educational content, of course. Take it with a grain of salt. So the first T is temperature. And this is a change in temperature. So let's say you just got out of a really stressful meeting, the decision needs to happen now, and you are in this leadership position where the pressure is on you. So then taking a moment to change the temperature. If this means walking to the bathroom, splashing cold water on your face, if you have access to ice, grabbing an ice cube, noticing the change of temperature in your hand. And some of these feelings might continue to arise. We can sit with them, we can accept they are there. We aren't trying to push them away, but there are some moments when we can intervene with our body by telling it other things like, you know what, I'm holding this piece of ice right now. The next letter is I, which is intense exercise. This one might be a little bit harder if you don't have access to just go leave and do intense exercise. But if you have an office and you can shut the door, doing some jumping jacks or jogging in place to just reset the body, tell it, okay, we're gonna work on something else right now. We're gonna come back to this decision that we need to make later, and we're gonna take these 5 minutes to move our body. Then we have our second P, which is paced breathing. This can mean whatever paced breathing is for you. So if you've tried some of our other practices, you have a couple ideas under your belt. If not, one of these options is just inhaling for maybe around 3 seconds and exhaling for even longer. So if that means you inhale for 2 seconds, then you want to exhale for 3 to 4 to 5. We want to find a pace that works for you. And There are other videos in our workshops if you want to dive into these. The last P is paired muscle relaxation, which is similar or the same to progressive muscle relaxation. This is that concept of, okay, we're feeling tension in our body, but let's actually make it intentional now. So, for example, you start to close your fists, you tense your muscles in your hand, you notice what that feels like, and then you intentionally let it go and notice the difference when you do that. So, what does it feel like when the hands are relaxed? And if you want, tense up the shoulders, bring them up to the ear, ball up the fists, feel the tension in the body, and then relax all of it. This is almost flexing that muscle, as we've talked about before, in these moments of distress, understanding the mind and the body are connected. I am still here. I am still in this present moment, and hopefully finding a small sliver of safety when those distressful moments arise. So thank you so much for joining us today for our Workshop Wednesday. If you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments. If you want to continue on this journey, we have so many options that you can find in the description below. I am a bit biased, but my favorite one is the free masterclass. So feel free to check that out. It's self-paced. You can press play on whatever you're looking to really dive into this week. And if it's just this for today, that is so beautiful. And I will see you next week.